Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a few different things. Number one thing we're going to be talking about is the fact that Bitcoin is over 30k in price. But also we're going to be talking about some of the altcoins that me and SSM Crypto may potentially be scooping up. So hello SSM, why do you start us off today?
Okay. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for another live stream. And, it's very nice to wake up to 30k Bitcoin. And we've been saying this for quite a while. There's a lot of interesting speculations. I remember running a poll on my channel whether or not Bitcoin would go up to 30k, over 30k, or down to lower than 25k to approaching 20k. And it was kind of even. It was split 55, 45%, but the bulls have actually come out on top. Either way, I'm not a technical analyst. I'm more of a sentiment analyst. It's good to see, Bitcoin moving up slowly. There's not too much craziness in terms of high caps, and that's usually a good thing for low cap gems. When Bitcoin is stable, when Bitcoin is moving slowly, not too quickly, we can the altcoins have a chance to catch up. And I think this is an interesting opportunity to look at several projects to scoop up. And Seth and I were talking, there's a lot of interesting projects we're going to share with you today. Personally, I think once Bitcoin starts to recover, once the entire crypto space starts to get bullish again, there's going to be a lot of activities, right? And there are going to be some narratives that can take advantage of that. Take, for example, we're going to be looking at some blockchain tools that many other crypto projects will find useful. I've been saying that a lot. Blockchain tools are going to be useful. Projects like XP Network and the likes. We're going to look at projects that focus on GreenFi, projects that will make it that the narrative, the environmental narrative, isn't an issue with the bull run, with all of the activities, with all of the mining. So, what projects would take advantage of GreenFi? What projects are good blockchain tools? As well as where do we think Bitcoin is headed next? Do I think it's going to go up to 40k, or are we going to see a retrace? Lots of interesting things for today's live stream. If you don't want to miss any of that, be sure to stick around to find out.
Perfectly explain what we're going to be doing today. So I have a question for you, SSM. Now that Bitcoin is sitting at around 30k, what do you think is going to be happening? Are we going to see a pullback? Is it only up from now? What is your thoughts? Are we going to go up and then come back down again? I would love to know your thoughts.
Well, this week is very interesting. I mean, tomorrow we're going to have the Ethereum upgrade. I think that's good. That's bullish. We're also going to have CPI readings, and personally, I think to a good extent, the crypto space has kind of like started to do its own thing. I know macroeconomic still affects a lot of crypto, especially Bitcoin, but I think the entire space has matured that it's not going to be crazy price movement. So I'm still bullish, but not too long. But for this month of April, I think for the next month, I think we're going to keep creeping up like to 35k, maybe even approach 40k. But I still think a correction is around the corner. I think we should personally. I would like to see one more leg down before we can keep going higher. Making higher highs and lower lows. Because if Bitcoin goes down, I don't think we're going to. I don't think that sub 20k was a it was a big opportunity for many. They might have missed it, but I don't think we're going to be going lower than 20k again. So yeah, if we're going to get another leg down, maybe 25k, less than 25k. So lower lows, I think that's it. But when that's going to happen, I don't think anytime like in the next few weeks. I still think we're going to keep creeping up slowly. That's personal, sentiments based on what's happening. The bulls are not too noisy. Capo is quiet. Lots of interesting things happening in this way. And then we've got altcoins doing their things. So people are just interested in so many other things and letting Bitcoin behave itself. Let the big hats work that out.
So what you suggesting is the bottom is in then? Because if we're not going to creep down below 20k, you must believe that the bottom is in. The bottom was at around
Yeah, yeah.
15.5k.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah, I mean, that's agreeing with you there, SSM. And what I would say is macroeconomics isn't the best. However, there's going to be a lot of bullish news of crypto on the short term. So what I personally believe is going to happen is we're going to potentially see a rally, maybe up to max 35K potentially. If not, this will be the heights. We will see a further pullback, or potentially we trade sideways for a while. Then we do have a pullback down to around 25K. And even if we don't see a pullback, I don't think this means we're going to start skyrocketing anytime soon, guys, because macroeconomics isn't the best. I don't think we're going to see, 50K Bitcoin anytime soon. So just keep this in mind. So what me and SSM are going to be doing now is just looking for altcoins to scoop up, which could potentially perform well on the short term. So we're going to be talking about a few different gems here today. So stay tuned for that. I do want to talk about one gem, which I think is particularly good and has a lot of use case outside of crypto and within crypto as a whole, which I believe is very, very undervalued. And we both cover this on our own channels. A lot of the Gem Hunters has covered this project. It is Genomes DAO. So let's get this straight up on the screen today. So this project here, guys, if you have not heard of this already, I highly recommend you guys go check this out. Now, I will be talking about it in a little bit more depth a little bit later. I don't want to get into it now, but I highly recommend, guys, you go check this project out. It doesn't exist for the sake of existing, as SSM would say. There is a real use case for this project in crypto. And I don't think it's shy of being able to garner the hype needed to make it go on to do multiple X's. It's essentially a decentralized ancestry DNA, a decentralized 23andMe. Now, there's benefits of the blockchain in terms of cost and in terms of monetizing your own DNA. Just like Ocean Protocol aims to monetize your data, this aims to monetize your DNA, which I personally believe you should be able to do. There's always a lot of breaches and security in these DNA platforms, essentially. So the blockchain is one of the most secure systems we have in this world. So it's a great place for these DNA metrics to be stored on. So I'm very bullish on Genomes DAO altogether. It's sitting at a mere $3 million in market cap, guys. Just think about that for a second. $3 million in market cap. This project, in my opinion, will go parabolic in the next boom. Do you have any thoughts on this project, SSM?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. This project, they've been featured on Forbes and all of that, and it's always good to get in on narratives before they become a thing. Decentralized science is not something major that everybody is talking about. And yeah, check this image out. There's a very good justification for this project to exist. I always like projects that are better alternatives to Web2 problems. It's not just a good project. It's not just, oh, they're solving a problem within Web2, but it's something that even if you're not into crypto, you would find it more useful because you don't want any of all of these problems. The current Web2 infrastructure is faulty. They have valuable data that either gets leaked or hacked or sold. And this is a real problem because genome sequencing, is very personal data. You don't want it to be sold off to the black market or to whatever corporations are using to do their own tests and stuff like that. So that's privacy in terms of your information allows it to be possible. And it always blows my mind how this project is able to achieve it with very interesting tokenomics. They send it to you for free, and once you are able to monetize it, that's how they're able to keep the operation running. Another reason why I really like Genome Down is some people brought it up like, okay, what about the issues with regulation? Well, this is a project that is not just giving monetize it, allowing you to monetize it. It's with your explicit consent. The kit gets sent to you, and you are the one who sends it back. And your NFTs, another interesting use of NFTs, your NFTs is what is used to access the vault and give away whatever part of the information you have. All transparent, all visible on the blockchain and secured using the Ethereum network. So I think that's a very interesting use case. I think this is a great project that is solving a real problem. As you can see here, $600 million, 500 million, 50 million investigated by FBI. All of these problems with Web2 gene sequencing solutions. The Web3 alternative is much more better than what we have in the Web2 space. And another thing to think about is who are the people that this project caters to. They cater very heavily to institutions. You've got genome sequencing companies, you've got pharmaceutical companies. You've even got governments that will be interested in a project like this. If a project is so focused, if a project gets a lot of interest from industries and institutions, that's what can easily push the prices up. These industries will go to the platform and then ask, oh, we need this data, we need to be able to study um this disease and how it can affect people, ancestry, how it affects the DNA and all that. And then with your permission, you can then decide, okay, I'm going to provide useful data for scientists to carry out their research. Not unethical, is with your permission, and then they pay good money for that. So this is something that the price can be pushed up by institutions, not my $100 to $200, but by big companies, big institutions who are going to put a lot of money to get the valuable information they need, but in an ethical manner. So yeah, it's on a nice deep price now. I think it has a lot more room for growth. They're tackling billions of dollars in 2020 alone. Is worth over $20 billion. The genomic industry is projected to be much more than that, to be $50 billion. And so this is a project sitting at $3 million. So to get to $100 million, that's over a 30x from this point. I think there's something that this project can easily achieve.
Yeah, I'm not to agree with a lot of things you just said there. One thing that I particularly did like that you did say, SSM, is the fact that regulation can't really be a problem for a project when they contact individuals to essentially allow this project to exist. You consent to give your own genes. You consent to utilize their services. So regulation can't say you can't do that. It's nothing illegal. They're not doing anything wrong here. So this project won't really have regulation being a project, which actually does make it one of the better projects within the D-science narrative, because a lot of the projects within this narrative seems to have a problem with, let's just say, regulation, because you're dealing with medical data here, a very heavily regulated asset. So this is why Genomes DAO is a great project, in my opinion. Several reasons that SM touched upon there as well, in terms of the fact that if you just have a look at some of the break-ins and problems that has happened. This is serious, guys. This is your own DNA that's essentially being stolen away from you without your consent. Now, you may say, oh, it's just an accident, but how many times does it have to happen with independent organizations for us to understand, is this really an accident? $500 million of data sold from, Amgen, 60 million from 23andMe, data hacks, investigations, more data sold, 300 million data sold from 23andMe. How many times does that have to happen before you guys think to yourself that maybe they're doing this on purpose? Maybe we actually need to protect ourselves. And this is where Genomes DAO comes into play, because it's decentralized. They can't sell your data, but you can sell your data if you would like. So I'm very bullish on this project. Now, a question I do get asked a lot about this project is, should you invest into it now? Because if you have a look on probably the 180-day chart as well, this project is up very big. It's up about, that's a lot from, all-time low there, almost around, what's that, like
9 to 10x.
It's even more than that, to be honest. So, we're up quite a lot from all-time low here. So a lot of people don't want to invest in a project which is up 10x. Now, I'm in complete agreement with you guys there. You shouldn't really invest into projects which are up around 10x. However, we're seeing a lot of bullish movement in the crypto space as a whole with Bitcoin, and expect that we could potentially see some more short-term gains with Genome DAO as well. So if you guys are looking to get into a project, which is a great one altogether, and you are a long-term investor, I see no reason in which you should invest into this project now. It may retrace. I don't want to lie to you guys. You could invest today and it could be down 20, 30, 40% tomorrow. However, long-term, in the next bull run, you will see this project inevitably perform well from my perspective. So Genomes DAO is a great project. I highly recommend you guys check it out. The ticker is GENE. Go check it out, guys. So before we get onto the next project in the list, why don't we address some of the comments down below? So question here. So has the bull market started? Now, it depends what you mean by has the bull market started. Because if you're talking about is the bottom in, for example, then I'm in agreement. Then arguably the bull run has started, because I believe the bottom is in. If you're talking about we're going to see a lot of bullish movement from now only towards the upside, then potentially not. I think it's going to be a bit of treacherous waters before we see that happen. However, what I would say, guys, is just keep doing what you're already doing. This idea of the bull market starting now should not affect what you guys are doing. You should already be mining fiat as SSM would say. You should already be accumulating as much capital as you can and DCAing into the projects in which you aim to hold for the next bull run. That is going to be the best thing you can do. Now, if I told you today that the bull market started, you may think that, oh, it's too late. You may think this and that, and you'll invest into certain projects when in reality, you have plenty of time, guys. No need to worry. Welcome, guys. Hope all is well with you guys. Thank you, my brother. Welcome to you too, Michael. All is well with me.
Same.
WODSPay is really killing it. Indeed, that is the case. I'm up about 4-5x, even more with WODSPay, guys. I've been covering this project for a very long time on my channel. It kind of feels crazy, guys. Since the beginning of my channel, I've been covering this project. Now, I had a Patreon back then, guys, and I highly recommend you do check it out. Link is in the description down below. Bitcoin will not go below 25K except we get another MTGOX event. What's your thoughts on this, SSM?
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing I was saying. The only thing that can really bring Bitcoin down right now is going to be some kind of intense fraud, kind of like Binance fraud. And the funniest thing about Binance fraud is the company itself always comes back stronger after every fraud. I mean, I thought if it was going to happen, it would have been was it last year? Even there was this time where everybody was withdrawing like crazy amounts of Bitcoin from the exchanges. So, but Binance was able to withstand that fraud, and they were able to come back stronger. And we've got the regulators even coming after them and stuff like that. So, Binance, as much as against a centralized point of entity within crypto, we are lucky to have somebody like CZ, being that character within that centralized sector. So I think we are good in that regards. Every other exchange that they go after, there are exchanges that people don't know much about, but the worst they can do is go after Binance. And the guy seems to be ethical, and it seems to come back stronger, learning from whatever happens. It does charity. So hopefully it maintains that. I'm not relying on Binance to take the space forward, but it's always good to have a reputable exchange on our side, not FTX and the scumbags there. So I don't think another event like that is going to happen. I don't think we're going to be honest, I don't think we're going to go lower than 25K. Actually, let me not speak too soon regarding that. We might. I don't. 25K is not that solid, but yeah, Binance is still okay. Is the point I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so I'm in agreement with a lot of points you just made. What I would say, guys, is if Bitcoin does go below 25K to 24K, it's not really the end of the world. You should look at that as a bullish sentiment. You guys should think now is a great time to invest even heavily into Bitcoin and a lot of other altcoins if they do follow. No need to worry, guys. You need to exercise patience. The bull markets will come eventually. No need to rush. You guys should think to yourself, if the bull market isn't now, that just gives me more time to accumulate more and more and more and more capital, so you can then invest it and make even more and more and more money. So no need to rush, guys. And even if we do go below 25K, because I do think we're going to see a pullback back to 20-ish K, 25, 26K. I think that is going to be the case, right? Even if we do, just don't see it as a negative thing, like I said before. So, hi, Seth. Look at Lithium Finance AI NFT evaluation. So let's pull this straight up right now and have a quick look at this project, because it is Russell C asking it down below. He's been on my channel for a very long time. So let's have a look at this, guys. So it's sitting at $3.7 million in market cap. It's quite a low market cap gem. Also, we have around 43% in circulation, so around 50%. Tokenomics are fine on that front. If you have a look at the market, some great markets as well. So I had a quick look at the holders a second ago, and there is one wallet holding around 26% of the supply, which I don't like. Obviously, it's a smart contract, but that does not mean it's not a holder. Clearly, you can see here, this is allocation from the team. That's why in its exact value, it's a trivial number. It's not 0.3333. So I do need to check out what this project is, or not project, sorry, what this wallet is, to then get more confirmation if I'm bullish on this project or not. But what I am seeing, guys, is there's quite a lot of good partnerships here. Pantera. It's a very good partnership to have. On top of that, they also have OKX Block Dream Ventures. So there's some good partnerships there, guys. So this project could potentially perform well. It's very low market cap. It hasn't really performed well. It's a very new project. So maybe worth keeping an eye on this project. It's up around 45% from all-time low from launch. So if you're looking to scoop up this project, potentially this is a great project to have. But I haven't done my research, guys, so take it how it is. Glitch protocol. Now, I have a lot of people to asking me about my thoughts on glitch protocol altogether. So I will be bringing out a video eventually on this project. So stay tuned for that, because I don't want to just keep doing coin reviews on this live stream today. So what about GXT, my friend? Okay, same thing. I'll have a look at it later, my brother. Your thoughts on glitch protocol? Gem Hunters activity activated. Remember, guys, everyone go subscribe to the Gem Hunters channel. That is a collection of all of our crypto channels together to post content on one channel. We are the Gem Hunters. We do hunt for those 100x gems, 1000x gems. So I highly recommend, guys, you go check out the Gem Hunters channel. Rate our new logo. Let's have a look. WorkQuest token sounds promising. Now, WorkQuest is within that freelance narrative. Now, there is a plethora of different projects that we have covered over in all the Gem Hunters channel about freelancing as a whole. We now have about 3 different gems within this narrative, guys. We have WorkQuest, we have Hive, and we also have Lanceria, which is actually one of the projects that we were going to talk about today, guys. So why don't we talk about Lanceria, and then we'll get on to WorkQuest after. So I know you want to start us off with Lanceria SSM because, you know, you did find this project and it is looking like a very good project to potentially hold for the Explorer. And on top of that, it's sitting at under 700K in market cap, guys. Yes, under 700K. So SM, why don't you talk about this project?
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at Lanceria on CoinMarketCap, you would see that, you know, there's a lot I like about the project. It has a great idea. Its mainnet is on the horizon, and it's got 77% in circulation, all giving out in the Genesis during the launch. So I really like Lanceria. I think there's a good market for freelancing, because like I always say, there should be a good justification for a project to be on the blockchain. And projects like Lanceria, projects like Hive, they're able to accomplish this. If you look at the Web2 alternatives, Fiverr and Upwork, they take over 20% of your cuts whenever you do a freelance activity. And not just that, it's extremely limited. There's this border around freelancing. People in the UK would have advantages over people in Asia or in Africa based on what connections they have with the banks and stuff like that. If PayPal is your payments method, PayPal, for example, is not a good option in Nigeria. So these are the kind of problems that the blockchain should solve, creating a borderless means of connecting people, a faster way of connecting people. And there are over 1.7 billion people right now that are unbanked. So that means the banking solution right now that we have on Web2 is not accessible to over 1.7 billion people. Lanceria aims to solve this, and that's just one part of the problem that they are solving. They also have powerful partnerships. Chainlink, imagine a low cap project, less than $1 million in market cap, being an official data provider to Chainlink. They have an API that's, like they say on their website, a standardized open API that would allow verified users to connect to an immersive virtual.
Oh, you can see SSM
I
has
think that's impressive.
he's
Being
back.
partnered with Chainlink, being partnered with IBM, Lanceria using IBM. Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You came back. No worries.
I'm sorry. Okay, so the partnerships are very impressive, especially for a low cap gem. IBM, Chainlink, Amazon Web Service, but Amazon Web Service is more of a tool for allowing data exchange between the clients and the professionals. They also provide tools to help freelancers get started, tutorials and helping them connect to their clients. So I really like the idea. I like the execution as well. I checked out the testnets to good looking testnets. I covered Lanceria a lot in my most recent video. You can check it out on my channel if you haven't done so already. So there's a lot of potential, and this is a low cap gem. If it goes to it had all-time high of about $10 million, just to its previous all-time high, $10 million in market cap. Just to that all-time high is over 10x from this point. And that was when things have gotten bearish right now. Imagine we're in the bull run and this project goes to 100 million. So 100 million, that's over 100x from this point. I think that's definitely possible, since freelance industry is something that is a multi-billion dollar industry. It's something that if you need to connect with your clients, and you don't have PayPal in your country, you don't have good banks in your country, or there's restriction, you aren't able to connect with people in Europe, is bordered, is restricted, is biased, you will find the projects like Lancera extremely useful. And to just give you a good idea of how much it can go, look at another project that I've been talking about within the freelance sector, Hive. Hive is about a $2 million market cap. They already have their products launched. Now, once Lancera launches the mainnet and people start using it, and it goes to 2 million, $2 million from this point is close to a 5x. So, I think, not a 5x, I'm sorry, that's horrible maths on my side. But over it, close to a 3x from this point. I think that's very impressive, and I think it's something that it can easily do. So we're dealing with a low cap gem, good tokenomics, good amount in circulation, strong partnerships, and a very strong use case. And I think I'm very bullish on this project as a whole.
Yeah, I'm not to agreement there. I have a lot of points you just said, SSM. One thing that I do love from, Lanceria as a whole is actually the partnerships, guys. If you take a look at the partnerships of this project, like SSM touched upon, a Chainlink partnership is no joke. But I am more bullish on the fact that they got IBM as a partnership, because Chainlink is within crypto. So you could argue that, eventually you could get another crypto partnership. But the fact that they got IBM, a technology company, to partner with this project just shows you guys the potential of this project. Now, it's a micro cap gem, guys, under $1 million of market cap, sitting at around 900K in market cap, I do believe. I personally think there's a lot of potential for this project. Like we said before, the current systems we have right now, the Web 2 systems we have right now, for example, Fiverr, take 20% of the seller's revenue. Yes, 20%. That is robbery. Imagine you earn 100K a year.
Crazy.
Let's put it down. Imagine you earn 20K a year or 50K a year. And they take 20% of everything you earn. But it doesn't just end there, guys. You're going to get taxed by the government too, 20, 30, 40%, potentially even 50% of how much you earn. So basically about half of everything you earn is taken away from you. Now, this is why I believe that freelancing as a whole, freelance cryptos, have a use case. Whether it's Hive, whether it's WQT, whether it's Lanceria, makes no difference on my part. They all have their benefits, they all have their pluses. For example, Hive's very established. They have a marketplace already for a plethora of different, services and jobs available. They have this idea of zero fees, which beats 20% with Fiverr if you use the Hive token, and less than about 2.5% if you lose other pairs. WorkQuest is very low cap gem as well. It's sitting at a tiny, tiny market cap. I kind of see this as more of a decentralized LinkedIn, so it's a slightly different narrative. Lanceria has those great partnerships. All three of these cryptos are very undervalued, and they all have potential, guys. I highly recommend you check every single one of these gems out. Good afternoon. If you get a chance, look at Chirply, it's AI. Now, I have had a look at Chirply before, my friend, and I have no thoughts on it at the moment, but I'll let you guys know once I do some more research into it. Let's have a look in the comments down below. There's a lot of comments to get through, guys, so bear with me.
I think I said I've looked into Chirply. It's interesting, and one of the I looked into it, and I even saw their partner with Brooklyn Network, another project that I'm going to talk about later in this live stream. But so what Chirply aims to do, like I reviewed it for someone, one of my patrons, and I was like, it's a good idea. It's just the adoption is the main challenge with Chirply to me. What they aim to do is to connect influencers and projects. So it's a platform where projects can easily access influencers and give them and get the exposure they want at different levels and at different rates. And I'm like, so if projects want to be able to get to influencers, the main issue with that is Twitter and YouTube. A lot of people go to Twitter and YouTube for
email.
Or what?
Email. They'll just email you.
Exactly. You get the points. You get the points I'm trying to make. So I'm like, the idea is good, it's ambitious, but the adoption is a challenge. So it's always important to pay attention. Look at the industry they're tackling and look at what's out there there? Is this working well? So many people, they either message you on email, on Twitter, even Telegram, and it's going to be a real challenge with Chirplay, to be honest, in my opinion. That platform, people are not just going to flock over there and start using it. So that's one of the challenges with crypto. You can have a good project, it just might not get adopted easily because the Web2 alternative is just as good. And that's why I always like to say Chaplin might have a justification on the blockchain, it's more decentralized and all that. But now there's another criteria. Look at how is the Web3 alternative, how is the Web3 alternative better than what we have in Web2? Why should I pay money to access an influencer when I can easily just send them an email, shoot them an email, or message them on Twitter? Even the influencers themselves, most of the time, they on YouTube, you can just easily check their info. They wouldn't put SharePlay as an option there. So I think they have a long way to go. It's ambitious, but they really need to get. I don't know if any of the team is going to it, but they really need to get influencers on their side first before trying to launch a project like this. So let's people like Seth or Archie start saying, if you guys want to contact me, if you have any partnerships in mind, go check out Chirplay, and then the company or the projects would get some Chirplay and then message Archie or Seth or stuff like that.
Yeah, I
So
personally believe this project just exists for the sake of existing. I don't really think it has that much real use case, but that's on the actual adoption side. We have to detach emotion. I think this project has no utility. However, I'm an investor in crypto. Now, I personally believe, these birds on this site, this false idea of AI would probably be able to garner investment into this project and potentially make it perform well. Now, the tokenomics are not the best. 24% in circulation. Potentially, I would be looking for it to be much, much higher, around 50%-ish. Especially if you're looking for a good project of good utility, I can kind of get away with 24%, but Chirplay isn't one of those projects. So just keep that in mind, guys. I would recommend you guys reevaluate the reason in which you're investing to this project. If you believe it can offer you short-term gains, then fair enough. If you're a long-term investor into this project, I'm going to ask you why. If you have a look at the holders right here, guys, there's one wallet holding 62% of the tokens. Now, it is a smart contract, but you still have to ask yourself, what is this wallet for? What is the use case of it? Is it Chirplay? Is it the team? Or is it something else, guys? So just keep this in mind. You always got to do your research into a project. Don't merely invest in a project just because someone says it's good or has use case. So that's it for Chirplay AI. There's a lot of comments down below to get through, guys. So we're going to have to skip some of them down below and only target a few comments, which I believe will add value to most people. Historically, the summer has been a good time to accumulate. I'm currently taking some profits and waiting to scoop up some more crypto during the summer. Well, that's a great thing to do there, Jobin. You're a very intelligent man. You know what you're doing. And for those of you that know what you're doing and can perform technical analysis, I would recommend you employ some form of strategy now. Seth, could you have a look at PIP? PIP. I'll have a quick look at this for you, my friend. Unless SM already knows this project.
No.
Have a quick look at this, guys. Oh, PIP, $16.6 million in market cap. The tokenomics don't look the best, less than 10%, around 8% in circulation, which I'm not too much of a fan of, guys. You guys know how I feel about tokenomics. It's built on Solana. You guys know how I feel about Solana. It's not a good rep already, but let me detach emotion. Tokenomics aren't the best. Let's have a look at the markets. Got Gate.io, MEXC, Bybit. Okay. 3 good exchanges there. Shaping the future of payments, a fully integrated suite of Web3 payment products. So built for social payments. Let's have a look. Wow. Send someone $10 like that. Twitch.
Oh, that's interesting.
And this, you know what this reminds me of, guys? This really does remind me of 8pay. They're very similar to this project. They have a few same features like integrations with Twitch and YouTube in terms of donations. If you have a look, let's see if we can get it up here. So you got Shopify, Woo, Nodes, YouTube, and Twitch as well. So this seems very similar to this one, but also has this idea of Twitter and GitHub and Reddit donations. It seems pretty cool, my friend. But what I would say is the tokenomics aren't the best. And because of that fact, you've got to be careful when you invest into a project like this because, again, dilution will probably be a problem. They're going to have to release these tokens at some point unless they're never releasing the tokens ever. And if they're never releasing tokens ever, then why do they build this platform like this in the first place, having this many tokens available or not available? So just keep this in mind, guys. Tokenomics are not the best for this project, but a cool idea nevertheless.
Yeah,
8Pay
there
is
is.
very similar though. Yeah, 8Pay is very similar to this project, but has superior tokenomics and is very low cap. But it all just depends what kind of project you'd like to invest into. So everyone go give both of them a check. Do you have anything to add to that, SSM?
No. I'm in agreement with you. I like the idea. It looks good, but the tokenomics are not attractive at all.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. So, hello, gents. What narratives are we looking at this cycle? Now, this is a very interesting topic. I should probably bring out a video on this at some point. I know SSM has several videos on narratives in crypto. So, why don't we just say a couple of them? Why don't you give me one
Yeah.
narrative, SSM?
Okay, so I like this topic of narratives. I mean, we saw what the AI narrative did, and we saw how a lot of people made gains. So I don't know how I would call it, but I like to classify projects. I don't know whether I should call it a narrative, but I like to group them into based on what they can do. And one of my favorites right now are blockchain tools. Especially once I won't say bull run, but once there's a lot of activity in the market, once there's a lot of interest in crypto, I think blockchain tools are going to do very well. And we can already see that in projects that, Seth and I have been talking about. Look at Injective Protocol. Injective Protocol is a blockchain tool, it's blockchain agnostic. Different projects and different blockchains will find it useful. Binance Smart Chain, Ethereum, Cardano, Solana. Injective Protocol allows people to create dApps, stuff like that. So same thing with XP Network. XP Network is a blockchain tool that's blockchain agnostic. Different NFT crypto projects within the entire space will find them useful. Then if you need to move your projects from one blockchain to another, from let's say near to Solana, or from Solana to Polygon, from Polygon to Binance, you just want to hop around and you want to do it securely, you'll find XP Network useful. So when there's a lot of activity within the space, it's kind of like selling a shovel in a gold rush. Many projects will find them useful, and I'm very bullish on exponential. Take for example, near is it near protocol? This other blockchain,
Layer
they
one
were they
blockchain.
were able they were able to make an NFT and then sell it over on Binance Smart Chain, and they did it using XP Network. So if you are an NFT project within crypto, you'll find XP Network very useful. So as the entire space is growing, more projects will find you useful, more projects will use you, and that's why I'm bullish on XP Network. It's one of the projects I'm accumulating, and I believe will do well in the next bull run. Injective Protocol, I also like it because of that. Then there's also Broccoli Network. Aside from being a blockchain tool, Broccoli Network also ties into a narrative that I really like. And it's all based on when there's a lot of activity within the space. When there's a lot of activity, Bitcoin mining, gas fees, Ethereum gas fees go up to $200. People start to ask, just type in NFTs in Google, you see one of the top searches are NFTs good for the environment? So you would see, yeah, Glyph. GraphLink is one of the. I made a video regarding blockchain tools. GraphLink, MITx, Injective Protocol, XP Network, and I mentioned one more, projects that aid adoption. I really like them. So GreenFi, I think GreenFi is also another narrative that I think is something that we should look into, not because you're a fan of it, but because it's a concern, something that people always talk about. And as an investor, like Seth always says, you should eliminate your emotions. I think GreenFi would do well. I saw a video actually released recently on Dion. Is it Dion or Dion? How do you pronounce it?
Doesn't make a
Dion.
difference.
Okay, Dion. Is it Ellie Chain? I'm sorry, Energyfi. Yeah, Energyfi is another crypto project. Broccoli Network. I think those are energy web token projects that focus on environmental consciousness. I think those ones too will do well, because whenever crypto gets to a certain point, people start to raise concern about it not being environmentally friendly. So I particularly like Broccoli in that list because Broccoli focuses on GreenFi and also focuses and is also a blockchain tool, meaning other projects within the space will find it useful. If a project decides, oh, we weren't actually built with environmental focus in mind, how can they solve that problem? They can use Broccoli Network. They can integrate Broccoli's API onto their platform to contribute to a small fee that will allow them offset energy negative energy emissions. And by itself, Broccoli Network is environmentally conscious. You can use their decks, you can use their dApps, you can play their games and contribute to positive energy concerns like planting trees or recycling or energy research. So there's those are some things I'm actually looking into that I believe are very interesting and I believe will do well in the next bull run and even while things are picking up in the crypto space.
Yeah, so I've condensed some of those points into a few kind of like narratives, blockchain tools that aid adoption. Decentralized storage is one that I personally do believe in for the next run. Energy, environment, this idea of green as a whole. I think those three are some good narratives for crypto. One that may creep up on people, but the problem with this one is I don't think it's powerful enough to be a narrative, but I think it's just a good one to be aware of. Decentralized science as a whole, there's a plethora of different projects within this narrative, and every single time that someone is proposed a decentralized storage project, they always automatically are bullish. We saw it with CTI. Everyone was raving about CTI. Genomes DAO. Everyone's raving about Genomes DAO. Decentralized science as a whole is such a bullish narrative, but it's just not enough projects. There isn't enough projects. There's no high cap project, to kind of father the industry. It's just a bunch of random little low caps that people, have to like hook onto. So that's why I don't think it's going to be as bullish as a narrative, but just keep an eye on decentralized science because I think it's going to be one that surprises a lot of people. But yeah, as I said, I'm in utter agreement with everything you just said there. XB Network is a great project within this narrative as well. You could argue Broccoli's in this one as well, and even in green as well, Broccoli's within. So I'm in utter agreement there. These are some great narratives. What I would like to add is decentralized storage. Digital assets as a whole is a very, very valuable thing heading into the future. And a lot of people need to realize this and have a look at some of the projects within this niche, whether it's cross network, whether it's Stratos, whether it's big data protocol, or ocean protocol, it makes no difference. I'm bullish on pretty much all these projects as a whole, and I think a lot of them will perform well long term. So make sure you guys go check out these projects down below. I think they're going to be pretty good. Add on Energy Web token to this.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be very bullish. And add on to decentralized science, which I think is going to be very bullish, is obviously Genomes DAO. And you know what? We can't lie here. CTI is going to be
and I think Cambria to those decentralized science. Let me confirm.
It does do it. It utilizes robotics and bioscience, things like that. So yeah, it is within the narrative. On top of that, guys, I think AI is going to be a narrative. You can't forget this. Singularity Net is going to go absolutely parabolic in the next board, in my opinion. So guys, keep an eye on AI as well. I think it's going to be a very, very bullish narrative. A few great AI projects. DMTR is great. Singularity Net is great. Let me just write these down for you guys.
Singularity DAO.
Singularity DAO is great too.
Artificial liquid intelligence.
I don't know if I want to add that one on the list. I think it's.
I like it. I think there's a space in crypto. There's Epic too. Yeah, Epic Protocol too is good.
Epic Protocol is a great one as well. There is plenty. We can go on forever, guys. But here's a few of the projects within a few of the narratives. So let's have a look at the comments down below. Let's have a look. Nexa, GPT, CGBT. These are good AI projects. Loop Network, ICP and A0. Very bullish on ICP. WQ2. Check out Myria. Don't worry, guys. A video will be coming out on Myria very soon. DMTR, how much it can go in price. Now, DMTR is already up around 15x, I do believe. Let me just double check. I want to rub it in, guys, but the Patrons are up about 15x their money with this project. So not even 15x anymore, guys. They're up around 18.5x their money on DMTR. Now, I think it could go quite high in the next bull run. I'm looking for around a couple $100 million a market, potentially $500 million a market for this project. I can't just keep increasing it. I don't think it's going to 100x from this current point. that'd be sitting at around $1.8 billion in market cap. Look, it's entirely possible. It could happen. However, I think we have to be conservative with our estimates. I don't think that's a good estimate to make. But look, guys, this is why I recommend you check out the Patreon. The link is down below. Those of you that were on the Patreon with DMTR, you would have got in all the way back here when it was sitting at around $900 to $1 million in market cap. Now it's up around 18.5. So you would be up 18.5x your money with DMTR. Now there is a slight divergence. So I think you'd be up around, like 16 or 17x your money, but nevertheless, 17x your money in the bear market. That's some great gains. Make sure guys go check out the Patreon. The link is in the description down below. You can also join through crypto. Just drop me a DM on Telegram or drop me an email. Make sure you guys go check it out. So back into the comments down below. Can you help me see Trava? It's a part of AI hype on first leg, part of All Right ecosystem and Phantom D5 AI implementation. A lot of different things you just said there. Let's have a look at this project. So Trava Finance. Let's have a look at this. So 600K in market cap, $1.3 million in, not dollars, 1.3 million token circulation. So a little bit less than 50% there. Some great markets as well for it to be listed on. So what is this project? Let's have a look at the holders as well. 72% in one wallet. Now, this probably could be some form of treasury. We'd have to double check here, guys, because that is a lot in one wallet. Now, it only has another project within it as well. So we'll have to double check what this wallet is. It's not looking good. Trava.finance. Governed by the community. View the docs. A module that aims to protocol a new level of decentralization. This module presents an on-chain governance mechanism where Trava community can propose and vote on protocol changes and improvements, as well as participating in protocol decision-making process. In the big picture, there are 4 central components: governance community, DAO committee, security advisory board, and governance. But what is this project? Is it just a project which aims to provide some form of governance for other projects?
That's what it looks like.
I think this what it is. Now, there's not too much here that I could see that would hype up a lot of people to invest into it, other than the fact that it's very low in market cap. But I haven't done my research into this, my friend. I'll let you know in the free Telegram group down below if I have any thoughts on this project. So why is SSM not invested in GraphLink? I think you touched upon that before. Do you think Altura and Nakamoto go beyond 2 billion plus market cap? Is it realistic? Now, what people need to stop doing. Go on. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I want to say this is a good point for us to go into gaming crypto. I want your opinion on that. We touched on all these narratives. We even brought up AI. What's your opinion on gaming in the next bull run? Because I know you're not the biggest fan of gaming crypto, but I still see a lot of people that are bullish on gaming and the metaverse. So do you think gaming projects will do well?
Now, I think a few gaming projects will do well. Typically what I say, guys, is gaming is not going to be a very bullish narrative. However, certain gaming projects will perform well. Now, what I mean by that is this doesn't mean that gaming projects won't rally. It just means how it rallied previously in the last bull run, which was absolutely parabolic. We may not see that exactly happen today. Last bull run, any gaming project would have performed well. It could be terrible and it performed well. This bull run, I think only a select few of gaming projects will perform well, because this is kind of a bull run of utility. Utility gems, real world utility, regulation, things like that. So I think a select few projects: Nakamoto, Altura, Gala Games, potentially Fabwell on RPG. So that's what I think. Now, can it reach $2 billion in market cap? So what you're asking there is, can it 100x on this current point? What I would say is most likely we're going to be looking for a 50, potentially even, around that X for Nakamoto Games and Altura. 100x potentially is possible, maybe for Altura. But what you guys need to realize is you can't keep looking for 100x at the current price or current market cap that it's at. Because, for example, I've been covering Nakamoto Games for a very long time on my channel. I'm up around 5-6x, saw the Patrons for this project as well. But it was 100x back then. It was 100x, 200x back then. Now it's 5x on that current point. We can't keep just saying it's 100x on this current point over and over again. If this was sitting at $40 million, in a couple of weeks, I can't say it's 100x again, guys. So keep in mind that I think from this current point, 50x on Nakamoto Games is reasonable. I think Altura could potentially 100x due to the backing, influencer backing, also has, institutional backing with Unity. So I think it's more feasible to suggest Altura could 100x, but Nakamoto Games around a 50x from his current point. That's my
Yeah,
thoughts.
but personally, why I love Altura is Altura is I don't want to sound repetitive or boring. It's also a good tool. I mean, for game developers. So I think that's an amazing thing. It focuses on developers to create games easily, to implement NFTs into their games, and like you said, it's a Unity solution. Meaning, if you're tired of the way gaming is on the Web2 space, you've made a game in Web2, it's successful, is a hit, but Google Play and Apple Store keep sticking high courts, and the banks are giving their own, are taking their own to court, and the rate isn't good, and you decide to move over to Web3, you decide, I want to build my Web2 game on the blockchain, then a project like Altura makes that a possibility. A project like Altura will make you easily transition your Web2 game into the Web3 space using Unity. Unity is the biggest gaming engine, or the second biggest between Unity and Unreal Engine, but Unity has the largest market store when it comes to game development. So if Unity says Altura is a gaming is a verified solution, so that's mega bullish. It aids adoption, like I said, it's a good blockchain tool, and it allows you to market and create your games at low prices on Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain is also blockchain agnostic. I'm super bullish on Altura. To say Altura can reach hundreds of millions of dollars market cap, to me is a question of, it's not a question of if but when. So yeah, I'm very bullish on Altura, and I love Nakamoto games. I learned a lot about what would make a good gaming project just from seeing what Nakamoto Games is doing. A very low barrier to entry. You don't want to be paying a lot of money to get started playing games. Kids, people on their mobile phone, they shouldn't have to put in money before they can have fun and check out the game. So that free to play aspect of it, that's web browser aspect, that low barrier to entry, and variety, simple, fun, addictive games. All of those things make Nakamoto Games a good option. So I think Nakamoto Games is also going to do well. And there's a very important point when it comes to gaming cryptos that Seth and Archie and I and Marco and the rest of the gem hunters always say, there are many gaming projects. Like, we haven't even talked about Defina Finance or RPG Revolve Games. There are many gaming projects, and it's all up to you depending on which you like. Seth likes Nakamoto Games. Archie loves RPG. I'm a big fan of Defina Finance. All of us, most of us like Altura. But what do all these things have in common? They are all good projects by themselves. You don't need to invest in all of them. You just need to make sure your investment is worth it. And that applies to a lot of projects in crypto. You don't need to invest into every single crypto project. You just need to make sure that what takes your time and ultimately what takes your money, your investment, should be worth it and will do well in the next bull run. And that applies not just to gaming projects, that applies to many other projects within the crypto space. And that's our mission on the Crypto Gem Hunters channel. We just want to put the good ones in front of you. There are many bad projects, there are many scam projects, and there are many gaming projects that are not good. But find the good ones, and not just the good ones. We also tell you how to find them. So I've given you some examples of how to find good gaming projects. Then you can use that to go find some that you personally like, and some that you believe your friends can get into. Some projects can have 10x's, but if your project does a 3x, congratulate yourself, you've still done well. You've done better than 99% of traders out there. And I think that's a win in my book. It doesn't have to be crazy gains. So yeah, that's what I'll say regarding gaming projects. Just find the good ones. Don't gamble, stay away. Archie, Archie is being funny in the comments. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was saying about gaming projects, and yeah, I think you'll be fine if you can just stick to the good ones.
Yeah, I'm in agreement there. And it all ties to the point that you should always be looking for quality projects. You shouldn't just invest into a project for the sake of it because it's a bullish narrative. And it all comes back to that point I said, guys, that I don't think gaming is going to be that bullish of a narrative, which means if you want to make money with these gaming projects, you need to find the good ones. Last Born, you didn't really need to find the good ones. All of them did well. This Born, you need to find the quality ones. And a good thing to look for, guys, is whether or not that project actually has long-term adoption. Now, what I mean by that is, do you actually see the industry it's targeting adopting the project? Do you see people actually utilizing it? Now, with Altura, we essentially have this confirmation. We have this confirmation because Unity said that Altura is a viable source that could actually do what they say they're going to do, right? That's right here. Unity verified solution, which is great. So we know Altura has that long-term potential. This is why I'm comfortable investing in this project. Now, projects like Nakamoto Games, we don't have exactly something that tells us to have long-term potential. But we do look for a few things. And a few of the things that we do look for, guys, is plethora of different platforms. You know, is it on mobile? Is it on PC? Is it on desktop? Plethora of different games. Is it in, Battle Royale? Is it in, RPG? Is it in loads of different kinds of narratives and loads of different kinds of categories? So gamers around the world who all have their different kind of games they want to play can still play the games. Doesn't meet the requirements of everyone. Nakamoto Games does have that. Now, I'm very bullish on Nakamoto, and it ties into this idea of gambling that Archie said down below. And I've talked about this on so many videos I've made, guys, but people are going to want to play the games in Nakamoto because you can kind of gamble on it. Imagine playing any game you like. Imagine it's 8-ball pool. We can both play, bet $100 when it gets $200. We can play, I don't know, head soccer, whatever this thing is right here. Right? We can both bet $100 when it gets $200. You can do that with Nakamoto Games. But the thing that makes this amazing is the games that you have listed aren't silly, weird little games. We have games like Axie Infinity that no one will ever play, but the games on Nakamoto are just simple. We play these games on Nakamoto Games. 8-ball pool, who doesn't play 8-ball pool? Your grandma plays 8-ball pool. Things like this, very simple that everyone plays. This is why Nakamoto Games has a long-term potential, and this is why I'm comfortable investing in this project. So a few things to look out for there, guys. So let's have a look in the comments down below. We are going to be wrapping up soon. I'm going to look at two different things, and then we're going to wrap it up here, guys. So what are both of your favorite high caps non-top 10? So let's get up the chart. So non-top 10 basically means just not, you can't say Matic. I'm pretty sure nothing else would be in your favorite high cap list there.
You can't say quants. You can't say quants. Everybody knows we love quants. So
yeah, quant isn't in the top 10, but if you want to say, we haven't talked about quant.
You don't say quant. let's not say quant. Everyone knows we're bullish on quant. So it's easy for me. I mean, it meets one of my favorite projects to invest into. I love smart contract crypto projects. And one of my favorites, I don't know, I'm in the minority here, is Tezos. I don't know why I don't see enough people talking about Tezos, but I just love that project. There's so much to like about it. Apart from it's got liquid staking, it's fast, it's cheap, and is adaptable. It's the project that can evolve and adapt. So that's something that I'm very bullish on when it comes to the crypto space, because this space moves very quickly. And take, for example, now, quantum computing. Nobody's talking about it, but there might be a time once quantum computing becomes commercialized, once IBM makes it public, projects that are not quantum resistant will become archaic. Algorand is future-proof in that regards. But what about Ethereum? Ethereum was about to become archaic because it was a proof of work, and they had to quickly move over to proof of stake, right? But look at the process. It was so long and hard. Tezos can easily evolve and adapt without any hard forks. It's something that gives true governance to people. You just need about 6,000, not up to 8,000. I think 6,000 Tezos tokens to become to vote, and it's also got liquid staking. So there's a lot I love about Tezos. That fact that it can easily evolve, it can easily adapt. If quantum computing is a thing, Tezos can easily upgrade without going through a hard fork, and it's sitting at 50. It's sitting at position 50 in CoinMarketCap ranking. So this project launched at about 20 cents, so about 5x up from its all-time low. That's how early you are getting into this project. Institutions can find it very useful. I think this project is highly undervalued, to be honest, and I'm very bullish on it. It's one of my favorite high cap gems. I think Tezos will do very well in the long term.
Yeah, so I kind of knew that this was going to be a pick. You always tend to be very bullish on this project. So for my pick as my favorite high cap gem, guys, I'm going to have to go with Algorand, and I'm going to tell you why in a moment. So the reason I'm picking this project, really because it's kind of simple, they're not trying to do anything overcomplicated. There's a lot of different projects out there, even Tezos in itself, Liquid Stain, all this other, jargon to draw you in. But Algorand is just essentially a blockchain that could be adopted. It has the fact that it's ISO compliant, but it's not, like an interoperability solution like Quant. It's not a hypergraph like HBAR, who's had its security problems. It's just a good all-around blockchain. Net carbon, net negative carbon emissions. So no carbon emissions. So no political pressure from this project. Good blockchain all around. There is nothing wrong with this project that I see. It just seems to be very bullish. A lot of people just say the ecosystem. Well, ecosystem comes with time. Ecosystem comes with time. You wait and more projects will garner on the ecosystem. So I'm going to have to go Algorand. I don't think it's that complicated of explanation, but I just think it's a solid project, which will probably perform well. And I think could potentially enter the top 10 in the next forum, guys. So that's what I'm going to have to say. So how you pick 100x projects. So is this asking how we find 100x projects or whether we decide it's a 100x project? So in terms of how we decide 100x project, there's several different things which encompass this. It can be comparing it to other projects in the same niche, asking if it has the same or better partnerships, if it has the same or better product. Is it have a community that's strong behind them? There's a lot of different factors into gauging whether or not a gem could 100x. Historical data also plays a part. But that's a very long, in-depth question to answer.
Potentially, it's got a lot of factors.
ICP and Theta, all you need. I'm in utter agreement there, guys. I remember we did one Gem Hunters live stream and someone asked me, what's your favorite blockchain? If you asked me what my favorite blockchain is, I probably would have said Theta Network because I love what that project aims to do. It's within an industry which I think could benefit from the blockchain, and the sheer amount of partnerships from Theta Network will surprise you. Google, Samsung, Sony, and many, many more. Theta Network is a great project. ICP has a real use case, guys, especially if you're talking about the blockchain here. A lot of projects, kind of like, what's it called? The ticker is NOIA, I think. Synoptry, right? It's kind of similar to ICP, but the difference is it's still reliant on the internet. Arguably, ICP can be the new internet. It's this idea of the singularity, but with ICP. It has that same idea. When the blockchain essentially overtakes the internet, there'll be a singularity will happen, and that will be ICP being the new internet. So I can see a real use case behind ICP together, especially this idea of decentralization. So I'm very bullish on both those gems. Adam knows a great pick there. So check out Cadena, Presearch, Morpheus Network, and Samo. Well, I've checked out about 3 of those already, my brother. I'm bullish on pretty much all 3 of those. So yeah, I haven't heard of Samo though. I don't know if you've heard of this, SSM.
I've not heard of it, but I think Cardano is an interesting project. I always tell people to go over to Samo, is that a meme coin? It looks like a meme coin. Well, I don't know. I'm sure most people know our opinions on meme coins. It's more of a gamble, really. But for Cardano is interesting. I think it's got potential. But if you want to know more about it, I always recommend going over to Crypto Goals and then watching some of his videos on it. It's been very bullish on it for a long time. I'm going to look deeper into it as well. It has potential.
Crypto Caleb, Injective. Now, if the question was, what's your favorite mid cap? Without a doubt, I would have said either Injective or Singularity Net. I've been in Injective for a very long time, guys. I'm up about 5x on this project. Those of you that watch my videos for a very long time, had you invested, you'd be up 5x. Had you been the Patreon, you'd be up 5x. This is a great project, guys. It's essentially a mini Cosmos, as Michael on the Patreon would say. And I think it's a good way to simplify this project. I will be bringing out a video in the next few days about Injective as a little update. But what I would say, guys, is arguably it's revolutionizing finance. I highly recommend you guys to go check it out. The ecosystem is the largest ecosystem in crypto. And don't doubt on that. Go check it out, guys. It has pretty much every single crypto project out there that you guys know. So go check it out, guys. Injective Protocol, INJ. I'm very bullish on this gem. So, guys, we are going to be wrapping it up here. We have been live for about an hour now. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here today. Make sure you guys subscribe to SSM's channel. He's 20 subs away from his next milestone, guys. So go subscribe to SSM's channel. As always, subscribe to my channel too. Check out the Patreon down below. It's not in the description because I forgot to put the description in, guys. So I will put the link in the chat right now for you guys who want to join the Patreon to get access to all these microcap gems, guys. And not just microcaps. Nakamoto. All the projects we're talking about today, guys, were on the Patreon, and you would be up 5, 6, 7, even 5x in some cases. So go check it out, guys. Links in the description down below. So that'll be it for you, guys. Do you have anything else you want to say, SSM? You can say.
No. Thanks for joining us, guys. Really appreciate you.
See you later, guys. Hope you have a nice day, guys. Enjoy. I will be on the Patreon group on a live call like I used to do back in the day, guys. So for those of you that want to join in there, stay tuned. I will be live on the Patreon group chat, having a call to chat to some of you guys. So make sure you guys join the Patreon, and I'll see you guys later.